Kicks 105.5, a good morning to you. Joining me now, as he does every Wednesday, about 10 minutes till 8 o'clock for Good Policies. It is Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. Oh, hi.
Turn you on. There you are. Hey. Would have had to charge you half price if we didn't turn your mic on. So, we were talking last week about different things, and are we rolling some of that over into this conversation, or we have a whole new conversation this week?
There's one thing that we talked about a few weeks ago about if you were going to be shopping for insurance.
Yes.
And it was 2 weeks ago that we talked about that. We never really hit on it last week. But what I thought I'd do is I'd start with that quickly. And
okay.
And I gave you a really bad analogy of my wife knows my crazy ways and no other, she knows and deals with it. But if I was to be dating and a new woman was to find out all these crazy things, she would be like, see you later. I don't want you. All right, so it's kind of the same thing. So with insurance companies, a couple things to consider. If you've had losses or claims within a 3-year period, then remember that's going to count more when you're shopping for insurance than it would with your existing carrier if you've been with them for over 3 years. Because of the accident forgiveness, because of the experience that you've had with the company you're currently with, when you're shopping for a new carrier, it's kind of like a reset button. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. You may not be seeing any surcharge for an accident you had that was in a snowy day where you ran into a guardrail with your current carrier. Well, for a new carrier, that's considered an at-fault accident, so that's a chargeable offense, and whatever was paid out, that could be considered a surchargeable event as well. So keep that in mind. Also, open claims, something to think about as well. Companies do not want to write you if you have an open claim. Why? Because they don't know how much was paid out in the claim. It's still open. So that's a pretty easy one. And then let's talk about the house.
Well,
okay.
Wait a minute. Before you do, does that drop off any? That really would be my question. So my daughter gets into a car accident. When I go to get a new insurance carrier, they're going to say, oh, you had this incident with your daughter in that vehicle. Does that at any point, now it affects me because it just occurred within the last year. If you go 3 years, 4 years, 5 years,
3
at some point, how long?
3 years.
3 years. Most
3 years
things drop
for convictions and accidents.
Okay.
Yeah. Commercial it uses a 5-year experience period, but personal auto and homes use 3 years.
Wife speeds a little bit. She gets a ticket. She's got 3 points on her license.
Don't worry. We don't even look at points on license. That's not even something that's considered. Okay. It's the actual conviction or accident that occurred. And a speeding can, depending on the company, could have a different impact on rating. It may not be such a big deal with some companies, or other companies will go, whoa, speeding, that's indicative of
bad
future
behavior.
Loss. And yeah. So
I'm not talking about like 60 over in a school zone. I just 10 miles an hour.
But there is a lot of predictive modeling that's used out there. So with some of the big companies, and they may consider a speeding worse than some of the more regional carriers that we represent as well.
Okay,
so,
you were onto homes. Go ahead.
So onto homes. So let's talk about this. So you've had a wood stove and a oil furnace in the same chimney for 40 years. And your company, and if I come to your house, I'm going to say, ooh, I'm so sorry. I can't do this. And I am not lying when I tell you this. I represent plenty of homeowner companies. I don't need to go into all the names, but I will tell you that not a one of them anymore will accept the sharing of a flue of any two devices, whether it be 2 wood stoves or 2 oil furnaces or whatever. It's not allowed to share flues. Now, a lot of folks will go, yeah, but my current company doesn't have a problem with it. And my answer will always be, and I'm not trying to say people are dishonest, I'm saying people just don't really necessarily know.
You probably didn't mention it when you got it 40 years ago.
No, 40 years ago, that was totally fine.
Yeah. You could have a fire in your house.
Yeah.
Like the dog,
Here,
I'm cold.
Put some rocks on the kitchen floor here, just torch it. But there's a lot of underwriting things that change over time. So if you've been with a company for a really long period of time, unless it's a company that goes out and does actual inspections, which there are quite a few that do that, but not all, and even those that do it may not target you because there's no reason to. So you could very easily have an unacceptable exposure that your current company is not penalizing you for because they don't know about it. And when I come in, I'm all fresh and new, and I'm asking all kinds of questions, and these are things that could pop up as problems for me and make me unable to write.
Do you recommend a contractor to fix it? People can't just do that themselves, right?
There's different ways to do it. I mean, just if you're believe it or not, since the price of oil and gas has dropped, many folks have ceased using the wood. to some level.
Is that one way of doing it?
You just take it out.
There you go.
Just don't use it.
Okay.
So there's different ways to address it, but I just don't like people to be surprised. It's something I run into quite a bit, especially with the dog situation, which we talked in great detail over the years. There are dogs that are not acceptable. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say you got written by an insurance company that does not allow for pit bulls, Rottweilers, Presa Canarias, and the list goes on.
Presa Canarias?
Yeah, it's
What the hell is that?
I don't know, it's on the list. That's the only reason I know about it.
Never even heard
it's
of
a
it.
variation of a pit bull. And by the way, American Stratfordshire Terrier. That's a pit bull. So
Okay.
there's different names out there. But if I write you, I'm going to give you an example because we're not Big Brother. We're not going to come monitoring. I mean, granted, there is the companies reserving the right to inspect. But say 3 years from now, you're like, oh, what a pretty puppy, let's get him. And then all of a sudden it's a pit bull. And you didn't really realize it, or maybe you forgot that pit bulls weren't allowed. We're not going to come and police you. So don't do it. I'm not saying, hey, just wait a couple of years and we'll forget about you and do all the bad things. But just bear in mind that that's why you probably have gotten away with it with your current carriers, because they probably do not know about it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. So I just thought those were good things to give this morning, because it's probably the most common surprise that I get from folks. And it's not me. And this is my favorite thing to say. I don't write the rules.
Yeah.
I just obey them.
Just like officers. Yeah, they don't write the laws. They just have to enforce them.
Exactly.
If you'd like to know more about insurance and you want to get a quote, you want to talk about things like dogs, houses, fires, or, double flus or whatever, Mike Barrett is available at Barrett Insurance Agency at...
It's flu season, so, it's real fun.
Ba-dum-bum!
There's the bell! Yes, I got the bell! We're on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Visit our website, thebarrettagency.com. Facebook, Google+, and YouTube is all Barrett Insurance Agency.
Thank you so much, bud.
Have a great day.